Hey, what's going on, guys? As you can see here, I just got in the mail something that's really, really precious and important for me. This is my new iPod Nano that I used to have when I was 17 or 16 in high school when it first came out. I remember this, the silver one with the black wheel was so iconic for me, and I would listen to it and have it everywhere with me, carry it. And I remember spending countless hours just making sure the metadata in my songs was on point, including punctuation, you know, lowercasing, Pascal casing, just making sure everything was on point. And I was such a control freak with my playlist as well. And I recently picked this beautiful device on eBay for a really good price, I think, because it looks brand newish. I know it's not brand new because it's more than 10 years old, but it includes the original case. And again, I wanted to relive my memories, and as you guys have seen by my different videos in my channel focuses a lot on music reviews, lyrics that I write. Sometimes I do singing, or quote unquote singing. And also I talk about my cassette collection, and now my iPod is my newest addition to my music technology collection, and I'm really excited about that. And let's go ahead and unpack it real quick. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks brand new. I remember the description saying like new condition, but I wasn't expecting the whole case to come included. Let's see, before we look into the actual iPod. Wow, it looks like this person didn't even touch it. Look, even the earphones. Like, if you guys watching this, if you go all the way back to the 2000s, you know how important these were, like to have the white earphones. And now we take this for granted because now we have AirPods and everything that has come out afterwards. But this is this is really important. The what is this for? The charger, I guess. I don't know, like a charging station for it, like to put it vertically, I guess. And then obviously the charger, which if you see, this is the older version of the USB cables that Apple used to actually include in the devices. And as you can see here, back then it used to come included, just like ready to go. No, so I'm gonna have to find myself a USB-C adapter because this is a USB 2 adapter. I like the old ones, but I have one of those lying around, so I should be fine. But yeah, if you notice, again, they included everything with this. And it's crazy, right? Like, at some point, this was the newest technology, like the most cutting edge technology after CDs. And once we had an iPod, an MP3 player was so revolutionary because you could have thousands of songs at your fingertips. And you didn't have to pay for like music subscriptions like we do now with Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. But I'm really fascinated again by the history of music tech. And like, this in the 2000s was like everything. It was dominating the music industry and like music media consumption. Of course, CDs were still sold and cassettes and all that, but like, if you think about it, one device, one technology kind of inspires the next one and the next one, and so on and so forth. Like, at some point, people realized, yeah, you can have thousands of songs, but you have to buy them, or you have to buy the CD and then just upload it onto the computer. Or obviously, as most of us would do, we use LimeWire or frostwire, if you're old enough to remember that. And it would take a long time just to kind of set up your playlist and everything. And like, that's when music streaming kind of saw an opportunity, right? Like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, they saw an opportunity, there was a need, and then they just kind of, the door was open, they went in, and the rest is history, right? So now we have music streaming subscriptions, and we literally have billions of songs. Like, there's really no point in people going back to something like this, to have to manually curate all the songs, because we already went through this in history, right? This existed at some point, and it made its impact, and it inspired the next evolution, which we are currently in. And then who knows what the future will hold. Like, I like to ponder upon, like, where's the music listening, the music consumption side of things going, like music technology? Is it really AR and VR? Like I have been playing with, some VR projects that I've created and you can check out more of those demos in my designer channel, Erik Soriano. I'll put the image here, or like the little handle here, so you can follow me there. And but also, again, like if you think of the 80s, right, like cassettes were the biggest thing. Wow, I can have like all this music in such a little device. But then again, it became clunky. You were limited by the amount of songs, and then eventually CDs came in and solved that problem. But then again, CDs, you had to carry them with you, you had to burn them, you had to carry a Walkman, a Discman. And then that's when MP3 players came out in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then the iPod had its moment, the iPod or whatever other device, but like this was the definition of an MP3 player, right? This is what I think of when I think of MP3s. And now we have streaming, right? So yeah, so this purchase was really important for me. Let me see if I can quickly, like, it looks brand new. I'm surprised that somebody kept it for this long. It looks really, it's weird holding one of these after like more than 10 years. Like last time I had one, I was in high school, right? And I was graduating. I remember like I downloaded Spotify in 2015, but like before that I used to just buy music on iTunes, and like by then I was using Apple Music. But I stopped officially using an iPod Nano in 2013. But I think, yeah, this is when they started coming out with the iPod Touch, like trying to mimic an iPhone. Like by then it was very clear that people were going to be doing everything on their smartphones. And so that's when Apple probably stopped selling these, because there was no point in this existing anymore. But look how beautiful it is. Like even right now it's so tiny, like as I hold it, and just getting that immediate like button cushion, like it looks so fragile. And of course, because I'm so used to my phone, that's like Spotify takes up the whole screen, and the UI and the UX is so good, right? So that like having to use this circular pattern for navigation is gonna feel weird after so many years. But I'm excited, and it looks beautiful. Like I got myself the 5th generation or 6th, I think, with let me see, which one is this. It's the 8 GB silver. I mean, I was not gonna get like a 24 something gigabyte, because what's the point? I'm literally just wasting my money on these little things just for nostalgia purposes and relive my earlier years. But so I don't need that much space. But this is the I don't remember, like the 5th generation. Like the first one I owned was the 3rd one that was like a square, and then the 4th one went back to this like vertical column, and then the 5th one is the same. Literally, they just put a camera. Like each year they would sell you the same product, just like with a little added feature. And then by the 6th generation, I think they added video, and after that they started doing like the touchscreen entirely. But like to me, this is the iconic part, like the whole wheel. Like if I strip this down to like an outline, it's just like a rectangle vertical with like a circle, right? Like this is the iPod for me. The iPod Touch and all that was too much like an iPhone by then. So like this is the last iteration that I remember, being the iconic like music technology for me. And I'm gonna cherish this one and keep it in my collection for as long as I can. And if not, I'll just buy another one, right? It's not a big deal. It's not so expensive. But I think it's on charge, discharge. Let me see if I remember without having to Google it. You would have to hold the center button for a couple of seconds for it to like reset. Am I right? Or it's just completely dead and I have to charge it, because again, I imagine this being sitting around for years. And this is if it even works, right? If it doesn't work, I'm screwed, because I don't think the seller had refund policy, but nevertheless, even if it doesn't work, it's still really beautiful, and I'm just gonna look at it and collect it. And yeah, so this is let me see, give me a moment, I'll be right back. I'm gonna look for my adapter so I can connect it to my computer and see if it actually turns on. And it looks like my iPod is turning on. I plugged it into my computer, and it looks like, if you can see here, the Apple logo is lit up. It's so weird, like it's so lightweight. I don't know, it feels so weird holding one of these after so long. But yeah, I was gonna go if it wasn't the silver one, I was gonna go for the red one or like the black one. But again, I love the contrast between the black wheel and the silver. Like this is why I used to have one of these. Wow, look, so it was turned off. That's why it turned off on me. I don't know what happened. Yeah, as you guys can see, my iPod is not working. Like it's turning on and I can scroll and navigate a little bit, but then it turns off. So I think there's something wrong with the battery. And there you have it. There you go. Look, it turns off. Weird, but yeah, if I get it to work, I'll just kind of show it in a different video. I'll come back. But I wanted to unbox and show you guys my newest acquisition. And if anybody from the 2000s like me is watching this and having a nostalgia trip, well, you're welcome. That was my goal, to make you reflect and remember the good times, because I cherish these times. Having owned one of these, having grown up when this was relevant, when it was popular, when it was, you know, the best way to listen to music, I remember those years and I'll always cherish them, right? And, you know, the 2000s were a really important part of my life. And yeah, so if I get this to work, like I said, I'll come back and just show you another video, do like a walkthrough, a more in-depth walkthrough demo. But yeah, this has been my review and my unboxing for the iPod Nano 5th generation. Alright guys, so I'm back with a follow-up video to my previous iPod unboxing / review. And as you can see here, I was able to successfully connect it to my computer. It looks like it still reads these devices after more than 10 years later. Oh look, it looks like this is all the data inside of the iPod. Like a bunch of songs. I think these were like pre-downloaded into it, because it looks like a bunch of symphony and like classical music. Hey again, so I got my iPod to work, finally. I didn't remember that like the 5th generation allowed the music playback via the speaker. Where's the speaker? Well, yeah, like I remember back then you couldn't listen to the music unless you had earphones plugged in, but I forgot to say touchscreen. No, it's not touchscreen. But yeah, apparently you could listen to the sound without, like, it had a speaker embedded. Let me see, I'm gonna go to the song I just uploaded, which is you know, the song I use in many of my videos as a background song. I love Earthsick by Hoobustank, which is off of one of their unreleased albums. I think the first one.
That is the name of the band, folks.
Hoobustank. Get over it, I did. Okay, yeah, I better stop before I get a copyright strike. Although, I don't know, I've never gotten a copyright strike for using that song. I still give them credit though, because it's my favorite band, I love them, but let's see. Isn't this so nostalgic? Let's go back. Oh my gosh, imagine searching with this thing. It's worse than those like 2000s phones that you had to like press the same button 3 times to get a letter or a number. Like, imagine this. Or even like, I remember also having a Nintendo Wii and having to type in things with a keyboard and like having to hover on each letter. Like, no thank you. No thanks, I'm not gonna search anything. It would have been cool if back then they had voice commands, or like Siri already existed, so you could have just asked it to search something for you. But then again, we have that in our phones nowadays. Let's see the video camera. I don't know, I'm just gonna like record my computer, which is right here, and then like my little setup behind the scenes. It's obviously a very shitty camera, but again, it's like, it was just one of those add-ons that they just to sell you another version of the iPod every year. And let me see, what about photos? You can sync photos from iTunes. I mean, video camera was for both video and songs, right? So like, let's see if I can take a photo of my window. Wait, oh, what happened? Oh my gosh, my phone, I didn't realize my finger was covering the camera. How do you press play? Like, I don't even know how. Okay, I had no idea what I just did. Did I record a video or did I take a photo? You gotta think about how you have to think about how revolutionary this was for its time, right? Like, look at such a tiny device, and being able to do all of this plus music was a big deal and a big selling point. Let's see, radio. Does the radio still work? Oh, for radio reception. I don't know. It doesn't work. But like, even again, the UI, it's like easy to navigate. It's not hard. The fact that you're just like scrolling a wheel, and like I haven't used this in more than 14 years and I still remember how to use it. That tells you like its legacy and its user experience was really well thought out. Now let's look at the settings. About probably some Apple stuff. Nice. If you look into general settings quicker, oh, it makes it like mute. Rotate, yeah, backlight, let's see. Brightness, I really want this to be brighter, it's too dim. I think that should be fine. Font size, large. I'm getting old. Main menu. Music menu, let's see, I don't know. Date and time, language, legal, reset settings. Yeah, pretty straightforward, but yeah, it works. I don't know, let me go back to Hoobustank, because I'm not feeling anything else here. So, but as you can see here, it says unknown artist. So like, for those of us that remember limewire, like most of the time you had to like manually update all the metadata, and like I would have to go into it in iTunes and like change the name to Hoobustank instead of unknown artist, for example, and then change, like, ensure the capitalization, the punctuation, and everything was ready, just so it could display here like correctly, you know, just for my own pleasure. Let's see, does the fast forward work? No, it doesn't. It doesn't work. What do you guys think? Do you like this, or do you prefer Spotify and where we are now? In any case, this is the 2000s experience.
That is the name of the band, folks. Hoobustank.
And that's it for this video, guys. Please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and check out my other music tech reviews, including my cassette collection that's growing. I'll be making more videos about like dissecting the history of the iPod and its impact in culture and the world. And also check out my music reactions, my lyrics, the vocal demos that I do, and basically, you know, everything else. Really appreciate you guys for watching, and until next time, bye.